So let's talk about my contraception journey. Um, right, where do I begin? So, my husband and I, we met in 2017, December 2017, and then 2018, January, we moved in together. And 3 months into that, we decided to go on contraception. Prior to this relationship, I had never used contraception before, and that was simply because I never trusted anyone else before. Or no, let me talk about trust. Let me say that I never experienced an intimate relationship or a committed relationship until I met my husband. So, like in all my other relationships, I had no reason to believe that the relationship was exclusive. Okay, so as much as I had relationships, like the person hadn't made me feel assured in the sense that the relationship was indeed exclusive. So I guess it does boil back down to trust. So yes, the relationship was never intimate and like there was never enough commitment for me to feel that I should have unprotected sex with someone. So all my relationships prior to my husband, they were like when we were intimate, we would always be using condoms. So because we were like this deep with my husband and we were now cohabitating, we decided, okay, you know what, we're gonna go into this step together. So we obviously got tested together, and then I went on the contraception. It was the 2-month injection, and quite frankly, that experience for me didn't really go well because retrospectively I realize now that when I did go on this injection that I did it the wrong way. So a lot of the side effects that I experienced was simply because I didn't do it as per my normal body pattern. And so when I went on the injection 2 weeks after my period, which is when I actually got it, it messed up my hormones. So my body had to readjust itself to the new schedule that I created by going 2 weeks after my period. So if I had gone on the day that I started my period and gotten the injection, then I would have probably been fine. But of course, I didn't, and this resulted in me having a period which lasted like 2 weeks, and then after that I experienced spotting for 4 weeks. And so this was terrible for me because obviously every day I'm waking up hoping that it's end, but in actual fact it was still continuing. Like, imagine having your period for 6 weeks. Like, this was crazy. And so obviously I kept thinking, when's it gonna stop? I obviously went back to the clinic and asked them what's happening. They were like, oh, it's normal, it's just a normal side effect, everyone experiences that. All you have to do is just take these painkillers because you're probably experiencing inflammation and that's why they're spotting. Just take these painkillers and you'll be fine. And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess. And then it continues. So I went back the second time because I was like, surely this cannot be normal, you know? And they were like, we're gonna give you an iron supplement so that you can, you know, combat the bleeding. And I took the iron supplement, but then it gave me constipation, and then I was just like, never mind. And so I was just like to my husband, like, I'm never going back for the second shot because this is crazy. But obviously, like I said, around about the 5th or the 6th week, this spotting had subsided. So finally I was back to normal, and yeah, I guess I decided, okay, fine, I will continue. Also around about this time, coincidentally, and I don't know whether, you know, like your phone does this on purpose, like chances are it's because of the searches that I was making on my internet, that when I was even on like my other social media platforms, like on Twitter, like things in regards to contraceptions would pop up. And it just so happened that someone else had made a post about the side effects of contraception, and this obviously then made me realize that with all the other people's comments, that what I experienced was actually normal. So this is why I continued, because I was honestly on the verge of just quitting this whole thing and just deciding that it's definitely not for me, or looking into other methods of contraception that doesn't involve this injection, because clearly me and the injection are just not compatible. So anyway, like I said, you know, after the 6th week, everything went back to normal. So the normal obviously being that there's no bleeding, and obviously there's no more a period. It's supposed to stop your period. So that's why I knew something must be terribly wrong if I'm bleeding for this long, right? So anyway, that happens, and then we continue. We didn't have any other side effects. I mean, I didn't gain weight, I didn't lose weight, I didn't experience any of the other types of side effects other people experience, which includes like nausea or whatever. However, you know, like after the 2nd and the 3rd shot, I kind of realized that something was different with me in terms of my energy levels, in terms of my, like, I seem to be more tired lately. And I kind of figured, you know, ever since I went on this contraception, like my energy levels had gone down, you know, and I experienced more like fatigue. And the crazy part is that at that time I didn't know this, but recently I read something that said that the contraception, for example the injection, in fact any other contraception, it makes your body think that you are pregnant, and that's why you don't have a period when you're on the injection, or when you're on the patch they give you that gap to have your period, and then it will, and then when you resume the patch, your body will then start thinking that because of the chemicals the patch releases that you are pregnant. So you're not going to have your period again, or you're not going to fall pregnant again, because your body thinks that you are now pregnant, so it won't make you conceive again. So now that I look back at it, you know, like one of the pregnancy symptoms is fatigue. So chances are, like, that's why some people gain weight. You know, pregnancy symptoms is gaining weight or eating a lot. So that's why some of the side effects of the injection are linked to the side effects of pregnancy, or the symptoms of pregnancy. So round about this time I was like sleeping a lot, you know. After work I would take like long naps, and this was out of character for me, and I could tell. And when you're doing things that are not within your normal routine of life, it kind of does sway you off, because now you're like, what's wrong with me, you know? And so obviously I'm a very intuitive person, and so I realized immediately that, you know what, all of this actually started when I went on this contraception thing. So it's clearly not compatible with me, and as much as I've gotten used to the intimacy that me and my husband now, my then boyfriend, but my husband now, experienced at the time, I felt like it wasn't worth it. So I was willing to quit the contraception or look at other forms of contraception, right? So yeah, so that was me with the injection, the 2-month injection. This was my first time experiencing like this ever. And guys, mind you, I'm like 26, 25 years old when I'm doing this for like the first time. I can imagine the toll this takes on people that are like teenagers and are like still in school. I know some people have to go on contraception, but like the side effects are so crazy, and I would have hated having to gone through that at a younger age, you know. I'm sure eventually I would have also had figured it out like I did now, but like, oh, what an awful thing to like experience. I mean, it's not bad, it's just frustrating, you know. Like, just imagine waking up every single day and you're still on your period, like, and it's not stopping. Like, at some point I completely regretted the decision I made. I was like, honey, all of this for unprotected sex, like, it's not worth it. I would undo it if I could, you know. But you know what, like the nurses said at the clinic, it's normal. Your body is gonna get used to it, and the truth is your body eventually does get used to it. So I continued on it, like I said, and then I realized that in actual fact it's also draining a lot of my energy. So I was like, no, ma'am, this thing is just not for me. Just hold on. Okay, so yeah, I just realized that you guys can see this bar over here. The bar over here. Just realized you guys can see that bar over there, but don't mind it. It's what's holding up my phone. So yeah. Anyway, we continued on this journey until I realized, of course, that my energy levels were low and whatever. And then I think I was supposed to go for my next shot in September, October. Okay. Might have been October. March, April, May, June, July. Wait, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So it could have been October when I was supposed to go and get my next shot, and I simply abandoned it. And I told my husband, you know, like, I don't think I want to continue with it. And my husband was like, you know what, don't continue with it. Let's figure out something else. And so we were supposed to go and see like either a gynae or go back to the clinic and discuss other forms of contraception. But we didn't get around to doing that. And so as we were approaching our 1-year anniversary as girlfriend and boyfriend, so at the time our anniversary was in December, because we met in December, started dating in December, and so our anniversary then was in December. So as we were approaching our 1-year anniversary, we decided that, you know what, maybe we don't even have to go on contraception, and that maybe we should look into having a baby. And so we were now both excited about this new decision, or rather this new journey that we were planning to go on. And so that's how it started. So going into 2019, we were like, oh, we're gonna fall pregnant. That's part of our thing this year. We want to be, well, I'll be a first time mom. My husband had a child, or at the time my husband, or let me say, I was aware of one of his children. And so but you know, this was going to be the first time he was going to experience fatherhood in its true essence, as in like he was going to be physically there to raise the child, because I mean, we actually lived together, right? So this was going to be a new experience for him too, because as much as he is a parent, like he doesn't really stay with his other kids, or let me say, he never stayed with these other kids because he had them when he was also a kid. So anyway, fast forward, and 2019 goes by and I never fell pregnant. And so at some point, I think I might have gone through this with on my pregnancy journey, so I'm not really going to delve into that much, but at some point we were just so over this whole baby making thing. And you have to remember that I had never had a child before, and obviously my husband met me as an adult, so he can only take my word for certain things, like he wouldn't know whether I had unprotected sex with someone else, and I had never actually fallen pregnant before, and therefore leaving my fertility questionable, because he has a child, so the whole situation cannot be his fault, right? And so I was just like, you know what, whether I'm fertile or infertile at this point, I really don't care. And the nice thing about all of this is that you actually do have a child, so I shouldn't really put myself under any pressure, because it's not like you would have been experiencing something new. This would have been a new experience. This would have been a new experience more for me. So if it's not happening, then I guess it's just not part of my story, right? It's just not part of who I am. Maybe God doesn't want me to be a mother, right? So, you know what, we decided, let's just forget about it. Let's put it aside. And if it does happen, it will definitely happen at its own time. So, we honestly just go about our lives, and we completely forget that that's actually what we were doing. So enters 2020, yes, 2020, and then lo and behold, we have lockdown. So from end of March up until about June or so, we were like on lockdown. And this is when I actually found out that I'm pregnant. So so I conceived during this time, and we were excited. We made a lot of preps for the baby and a lot of planning, and I mean, we even stayed at a different place then, and we were like, oh, we need to move out from where we are because it's not suitable for a baby. And we were just like, we were so excited that it finally happened. And I remember at the time, I kept it very secret, even online. Like, I didn't really want a lot of people to know about it, because I was so sensitive about it, like I didn't want a lot of people to know about it, because I just wanted to carry this baby to full term in peace. A lot of things were happening, so I was just like, I'm not gonna make a big scene about it. So obviously people around me in real life could obviously see my baby bump at some point, but online I was very much hush hush about it. Anyway, I had the baby in December of 2020, and all's well, and we continue along. And so I was supposed to go on contraception after I had my first baby, but I didn't. But to be honest with you, I think I even mentioned this in my, pregnancy stories. If you go through my videos, you'll find it, where I basically was explaining how I fell pregnant with my first child and how I had no idea that after you had a baby that your body could want to have a baby that soon again. So I wasn't in a hurry to get on contraception because I thought that your body would be smart enough to know that you just had a baby. Like, there's no way you could carry another baby that soon, right? So I was clearly wrong. And 5 months after I've had my daughter, I fell pregnant again. So when my daughter was like 4 or 5 months, approaching 5 months, I fell pregnant again. And I was just like, I was pregnant again. And so that's how I conceived my son. And then I had my son in early 2022. So early 2022 I had my son. And so this time around, I was like, I better get on contraception quickly. So I did. But this time around, I was reluctant to go on the injection again. So I was just like, what other options do I have? So I knew that I'm not the type of person that can go on the pill, because there's like just no way I would be able to take this pill every day at the same time without messing that up. So I was just like, it can't be the pill, and it's not going to be in the injection because I really don't want to go down that route again. So we went with the patch. So that is the contraception we started using, and everything was going well with that contraception. I had no side effects. It was so easy to use. However, there's a lot of things that have been causing distractions, and so what happened was I forgot to go and pick up the new set of the patch, and by the time I remembered to go and pick it up, I was already a week late, and a week late from putting it on. So I also could immediately tell that I might have conceived during this week. I know, but like I could immediately tell. And so I told my husband, like, hey, we're a week late on getting that patch. So I'm also thinking that I might just be pregnant again. And he was like, you sure it could never be that quick? Because he was like, after we were on the injection, it took a whole year for me to fall pregnant. So clearly whatever chemicals are on this patch would definitely make you less likely to fall pregnant that quickly, right? So I was like, I don't know, but I'm feeling some type of way. And he's like, as if you're pregnant again? I was like, yeah. So we take the pregnancy test, and lo and behold, I was pregnant again. So here we are, expecting baby number 3. But we waited a couple of months to go to the gynae and confirm. And obviously, but most of the time, by the 3rd month, and you're not on your period, you definitely know you're pregnant, right? So we were just getting confirmation more from my husband, as he's not the one who can feel anything. I am. But like yeah, so we went to our gynae, like, oh, we're back again. She was like, no ways. I was like, so yeah, but she was excited and happy for us. So yeah, confirmed it, saw on the skin that there really is a baby. And then yeah, I think I announced my baby okay. So yeah, so I had my son December of no, I had my son not December. I announced my pregnancy December of 2022, and then I had my third baby in June of 2023. So he's about a few months old now. He's the one sleeping in front of me. I don't know if you guys can hear snoring, but he'll be snoring in between. Maybe if you have your earphones on, you might hear him snoring, because he snores. He's a snorer. So yeah. Anyway, so after my son, I was like, guys, there's no way I'm gonna go through this again. And quite frankly, I'm gonna have to make sure that it doesn't. And so I was like, the patch didn't work, and that's because I'm clearly bad at doing this family planning thing on a monthly basis. Like, I can't manage it. So I should think of something else. And quite frankly, I found myself gravitating back towards the injection. And I know people are like, well, you could have tried like the lube or something. But the thing is, I also don't want to go through that route whereby anything has to be put inside me, because one, I feel this process, or just having it there, is so invasive. So I was like, that's not gonna work for me either. One. Two, I was just like, no, I need to go back on the injection. So I did just that, decided on the 3-month one. So yeah, I'm currently on that one, so that I don't have to constantly think about it. I don't have to constantly worry about it. I'll just have one date to schedule over a 3-month period, and that has been working out well for me, because one, this time around I made sure that I went on the correct time, or rather I timed it properly this time around. So on the first day of my period, I went and got the shot, and literally everything has gone well. I've not experienced any side effects. And so yeah, chances are I'm gonna stay on this form of contraception for like forever. You know, if I wasn't so scared, I'd probably have my ovaries removed. I probably would. But my mom was also like, oh, that is so extreme. What if you have to get remarried or whatever? And I was like, if I were to ever like leave my husband or lose my husband or whatever, like, whoever I ever get married to again better have his own kids. Because, honey, there is no way I'm going back to the maternity ward. Like, it's just not who I am right now. It's not who I could ever be. That is a version of me that she has gone past. She has packed her bags and she's moved along. She said, bye, honey. See you in another life. But definitely in this life, I do not see myself ever falling pregnant again. I have 3 kids and I am very satisfied with the 3 kids that I have. And so, yeah, like I said, that if it didn't require like surgery, I would definitely have my ovaries removed. I would definitely get sterilized or something. Like, I'm done. So yeah, that's me. That's my contraception journey. Do comment down below if you found this informative. Also, let me know if you have ever considered like having your ovaries removed so that you could never fall pregnant again. And what your take is on sterilization, because a lot of people are like for it and a lot of people are like hell no, you know. So yeah, anyway guys, I think that will be it for me today. Until next time.